2008, Putin invades Georgia, formerly part of the Soviet Union, and people thought, no big deal.
Columns of Russian tanks and troops rolled into the American-backed former Soviet Republic of Georgia today after a nighttime barrage of artillery fire and rockets. Georgia said it was trying to retake control of South Ossetia, the breakaway province on Russia's border that's policed by Russian peacekeepers.
2014, Putin invades the Ukrainian peninsula of Crimea. People thought, well...
To what America is officially calling a Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russian troops spreading out throughout the strategic Crimean peninsula. President Obama speaking with Russian President Vladimir Putin, apparently pulling no punches, although it is unclear what the White House can really do about all of this.
On February 24 of this year, Putin launches a full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
We're starting with breaking news. Russian President Vladimir Putin has launched his military operation in Ukraine. It's just after 7 in the morning in the Ukraine capital city of Kyiv, where blasts have been heard. This is a live look at the city skyline.
The Russian president is claiming the action is intended to protect civilians, but at the same time is warning other countries that any attempt to interfere with the Russian action would lead to consequences that they have never seen.
Over this time, of the 30 NATO countries, maybe 10 of them spend the target 2% of their GDP on national defense. That's why during 2018, President Donald Trump gave them a tongue lashing.
Well, I have to say, I think it's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries, and then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia, where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia. So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia, and I think that's very inappropriate. And the former chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas. Ultimately, Germany will have almost 70% of their country controlled by Russia with natural gas. So you tell me, is that appropriate? I mean, I've been complaining about this from the time I got in. It should have never been allowed to have happened. But Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline. And you tell me if that's appropriate, because I think it's not. And I think it's a very bad thing for NATO, and I don't think it should have happened. And I think we have to talk to Germany about it. On top of that, Germany is just paying a little bit over 1%, whereas the United States, in actual numbers, is paying 4.2% of a much larger GDP. So I think that's inappropriate also. You know, we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting everybody, and yet we're paying a lot of money to protect. Now, this has been going on for decades. This has been brought up by other presidents, but other presidents never did anything about it because I don't think they understood it or they just didn't want to get involved. But I have to bring it up because I think it's very unfair to our country. It's very unfair to our taxpayer. And I think that these countries have to step it up, not over a 10-year period. They have to step it up immediately.
From the Trump administration to the Biden administration, America has gone from being energy independent to importing more oil and petroleum products from Russia than at any time since 2011.
And so why are we importing a record 232 million barrels of oil from Russia last year? And that was only through November. In fact, we set a monthly record of 26 million barrels last May.
On September 30, 1938, Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain came back from the Munich Agreement with the following statement.
We, the German Chancellor and the British Prime Minister, are agreed never to go to war with one another again. We are resolved that the method of consultation shall be the method adopted to remove possible sources of difference and thus to contribute to assure the peace of Europe.
Hours later, the Prime Minister read that statement in front of 10 Downing Street, adding the following, quote, "My good friends, for the second time in our history, A prime minister has returned from Germany bringing peace with honor. I believe it is peace for our time. Go home and get a nice, quiet sleep." End of quote. Days later, October 5, 1938, conservative member of parliament Winston Churchill gave a 45-minute speech. Here are some excerpts. "I will therefore begin by saying the most unpopular and most unwelcome thing. I will begin by saying what everybody would like to ignore or forget, but which must nevertheless be stated, namely, that we have sustained a total and unmitigated defeat. At the moment, there may be an order for Herr Goebbels to start again his propaganda of calumny and lies. At any moment, an incident may be provoked, and now that the fortress line is turned away, what is there to stop the will of the conqueror? I think you will find that in a period of time which may be measured by years, but may be measured only by months, Czechoslovakia will be engulfed in the Nazi regime. It is the most grievous consequence of what we have done and of what we have left undone in the last 5 years. 5 years of futile good intentions, 5 years of eager search for the line of least resistance, 5 years of uninterrupted retreat of British power, 5 years of neglect of our air defenses. We have been reduced from a position where the very word war was considered one which could be used only by persons qualifying for a lunatic asylum. And of course, Germany invaded Poland. Well, that's all for today's Larry Elder on YouTube. We're now showing a shorter version of our show on YouTube. That's after being censored and demonetized for a whole year. Full episode can be watched on our website, epictv.com/Larry Elder. That's epictv.com/Larry Elder. You can also find out where to watch our show live on cable in your city at ntd.com/TV. All the links are in the description down below.